Hello there! So, I'm Mason Garrison, and let me introduce you to our computing lab, which is where I am hunched over recording right now. So yeah, it's a little more than a green screen, but not that much more, because my lab is a little bit on the quirky side, which you might have figured out, or you will in the next 5 minutes. So my lab is a fun mix of psychology and statistics, and in that we focus a lot on genetics. Think more like behavior genetics, all those twin studies, but without the twins, and data science. I like it. It's an eclectic mix, and so I've made this video to kind of break it down. So you can kind of break down the research I do in this lab into two chunks. One is the substantive chunk, and that's where I ask, along with everyone else in my lab, questions that are kind of more substantive. So like non-statistical. Like, is the relationship between socioeconomic status and flu vaccination causal? Is the relationship between depression and delinquency causal or not? What about intelligence and when you give birth the first time? Intelligence when you have sex the first time? Lots of kind of fun questions that all tend to hit in the same triangle of interestingness. Answering questions related to health and wealth and individual differences. The other half of my lab is all about statistics and data science, and it's very practical in terms that it helps facilitate answering my substantive questions. So that's primarily like improving the models that we do use in this lab, the software we use, making it kind of easier and more accessible, and whatnot. So, in terms of substantive research, I tend to test other people's causal claims. When people make strong statements like, smart girls delay having sex because they see all those horrible consequences, I want to know if that's actually true, or if that's not just some spurious, convenient idea. Because we can't tend to test that experimentally. We can't randomly assign kids to be various levels of intelligence and then wait for them to have sex. We can't do that, and I really don't want to run that kind of study. But it's an interesting question because it leads to effective interventions. And so how do we do that if we can't run an experiment? Well, that's where the genetically informed designs come in, and pre-existing data. Why genetically informed designs? Frankly, they're a really clever way to test causal claims without experiments. Because I don't run experiments. So I'm happy to talk all about the nitty-gritty details, but the basic idea is that we can control for all that background experience the same way that you do in a repeated measures study, but instead of essentially having another copy of you, we use your sibling or your twin or your cousin because they share a lot of the same characteristics. That's really it. Does the smarter sister have sex later or not? And we can test that with what boils down to a fancy paired t-test. I'll make it sound all fancy and whatnot, saying quasi-causal behavior genetic design or co-twin control or sibling control or children. I can make it sound super fancy, but at the end of the day, it's just a paired t-test. And I believe in all of you that you can do that. So how do we do it? Well, we do it with R, hence the name of the lab, RStudio, which is a software that makes it way easier, and GitHub, which allows us to really work remotely. And if you don't know any of those things, that's fine. Frankly, that's almost a bonus because I like teaching this stuff. Yeah, no, I enjoy it because I'm a dork. So where are we doing it? Where are we presenting these results? So yesterday, actually, almost everybody in the lab presented posters at the Society for Personality and Social Psychology. And we've got plans to present our work again at the Behavior Genetics Association, which I think will be pretty cool. And we've already published some software packages to facilitate these things. Kind of both the substance stuff and the quantitative. But anyway, I'm trying to keep this short. I look forward to seeing you all.